Have you heard about live streams that do writing sprints and you're not really sure what that means or why people do it? Well, today our video is going to be a jumping around video and get to watch as I hang out at some live streams. So stay tuned. Hello, my name is Jennifer Aline. I am a freelance writer, a social media manager, the mother of twin girls, and my debut novel, That Age, is coming out winter of 2020-2021. Today's video is going to be kind of a jumping around-ish video. I am going to take you with me to some of the live streams that I recently went to and got involved in, kind of give you my thoughts, see how productive I am. I'm also going to give you lots of pros and a couple cons to writing sprints on live streams and why I think that they are awesome, and a couple reasons that I think they can be but mostly awesome. So stick around, let's check it out. Okay, I am at my desk with some coffee, some sparkling water, some letters that my girls took off my letterboard, which is wonderful. I am waiting for the Courtney Project for her live stream. Should start in about 5-ish minutes. And if you do not know what a live stream and what writing sprints are, a live stream is when someone is live on a social media platform and they haven't pre-recorded anything, they're there, it's real time, and they're there for everybody to see. You can interact with them through, like I said, this little chat if you're doing this via YouTube or Facebook, and I think it's the same on Instagram as well. I haven't done that much there. And writing sprints are when you have a little timer and it counts down, usually from like 20 minutes-ish, and during that time you focus on your writing, or you're supposed to. Sometimes you get distracted in the chat or social media, which you shouldn't, but it happens. And when that's done, there's some interaction with whoever's hosting it. For example, Courtney will be hosting this one, and then you do it again, and you sprint again for another 15-20 minutes, whatever they decide to do. So if you didn't know what those were, that's what they are. So I am ready to get some writing done for my book. I am a little tired. We'll see how long this lasts tonight. The first one we're going to talk about in the longer pro section is having focused writing time, where you can really sit down and focus. Sometimes it can be hard seeing that timer, but knowing that you have, let's say, 20 minutes to really focus on your writing can be exhilarating for somebody who works all day or is a mom all day and doesn't really have that time to sit and write. Knowing that you have focused writing time and setting that time aside for you can be just, it's important for your mental health. It's also important for you if writing is something you want to take and make into a career. Having that time set aside, it can be a game changer. It can be something to look forward to, and you get stuff done.
It's gonna be fine. We got this. We're gonna totally get this going.
Yeah, loud
It'll
AC.
It'll be a very focused night. I have about 1.75 chapters to write.
The second one we're going to talk about is you find a sense of community. And this can be a little bit weird to people who may not understand live streams and what these writing sprints are. But having a sense of community is something that a lot of writers growing up maybe didn't have. Growing up, I didn't know a lot of people who were writers. I really was it. My big brother was a writer. He wrote a lot of poems, but I was really the only person my age who liked to sit at playtime and write in my journal rather than playing dodgeball or going and playing, hide and seek. I wanted to write. So having these groups that are set aside and you're talking in a live way and you're interacting with others, whether it's through the chat or you're on the screen during that live stream, it shows that you have other people around you or across the state or across the world who have same interests as you. I probably should have blended number 3 with number 1 in a way, but set writing time. Knowing that you have a block of time a few times during the week if there's live streams, or once a week where you have to write is awesome, because it can be really hard to find that set writing time. Some people like to wake up at 5 or 4 before their kids wake up, get their writing done, and start the day. I can't do that because I'm not a morning person. However, if you're a night person and they're doing a live stream sleepover like some people do, or they do the witching hour live stream, you're going to be writing pretty late into the night. And if that's for you, knowing that that's there, a set time for you to write, and it's on your schedule, it's in your brain, can make you feel better and you get more work done. Well, we finished, I think it was the second or third sprint. We just had a little bit of a catastrophe with the Forest app at the start of this one. She likes to make groups for the Forest app, which I've talked about a bazillion times. It just keeps you focused. And somebody right away got off the app, which killed all the trees they were making. They're making these Sunday ice cream trees. They were very upset. But I think I have to call it quit for the night. I got a couple pages done. I did a pretty good job. I'm pretty proud of myself. As you can see, I do have my thesaurus tab up. I honestly, since I started keeping my thesaurus tab up, I have been using it every single time I write. And like I've said in the past, I'm not somebody who just writes like simple at first and goes back. I honestly reread and change things a little bit because I try to add meat to the skeleton of the first draft. So maybe when I go back, it's like a second or third draft and it's not as, there's not as many issues because I hate editing. So I really try to focus. But the coffee is gone and I'm pretty tired. But I know that there's some more sprints this week and I'm excited. The fourth one we're going to talk about is accountability. This was really a point for me. And I, early on during quarantine, would do a few times a week or a couple times a week nap time live streams where I would set a time, market it, and be there. And I had to be there. And I am known to nap during my girls' nap times, at least for like a half hour, 45 minutes, if anything, because I'm tired. I'm always tired. But if I set a live stream for those times, and I marketed it and people were going to be there and were excited, I have to be there. I also know I will get stuff done, whether it is work or it's writing. I have to do it. And it's really an accountability thing. And that can be really good for your self-esteem after you do it. After you're there and you get things done, it feels so good to know that you are productive. And productivity is another big one. I am waiting for Sabby's AuthorTube sleepover live stream writing sprint, and I'm tired. I'm really tired, but I do want to get at least some rereading, editing done for my work in progress. I also have some work to do, but I really should focus on my book because that's why I'm here. So I'm hoping to at least get through like 1 or 2 sprints. I don't know if it'll happen, but I'll try. Number 5 for the pros that I'm going to bring up in between all these little videos from live streams is it is a great experience for those who are introverted and for those who are night owls or morning people. There's some really early morning sprints as well. But we're going to stick to introverts and night owls because those who are introverted, and I'm kind of in the middle, but I'm probably more extroverted than introverted if you can't tell, they have a hard time socializing, communicating out in the big public world, out there with people. And even though right now a lot of that isn't happening, introverts who are writers still might want to communicate and interact with other people who have the same interests as them without having to be face to face or staring at somebody at a restaurant. So going on these live streams gives them that chance to interact through a chat. Whether, they don't have to be the one on the screen, they don't have to be the one leading it, but they can just be in the chat, do the live stream with everybody else, jump in on the sprints, get things done, and communicate and discuss it and hear what everybody else is talking about. And that is great for introverts, especially when the big bad world out there scares them. Night owls. I am a night owl. There are a lot of really fun live streams, if you have seen some, that are at night. Day usually starts at 9 p.m. and I usually don't go to bed until like 1. And that's usually when I get some of my freelance stuff done and I get a bunch of writing done. And there are a lot of live streams in the evening. So night owls, if you're not going out to bars and you're not going out to meet friends, you're not going to restaurants, you don't have play dates at night, which really isn't happening right now anyway, as much as it used to. There are sprints and live streams that you can be involved in. And honestly, sometimes I'd rather just stay in make some coffee or drink some wine and write, because a lot of writers would choose writing over socializing sometimes. And you are socializing, it's just in a different, unique way. So having these live streams and having them available for anybody, especially introverts who are out there, and even extroverts right now during this time of quarantine still, this is a way for you to socialize. This is a way for you to interact with people in a world where right now there isn't as much as we'd like there to.
Let's do, everyone, is 20 minutes sprint sound good, or is 20 minutes sprint overwhelming?
Do, do, do. Here's my book. I'm ready to go. Let's do this first sprint. I'm quickly just going to mention a couple cons that I have when it comes to live streams and sprints, but I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, so I'll quickly go through these. There is a clock, little countdown clock that is on the screen during these sprints, and it just shows how much time you have left until you can take a break, go refill your coffee, chat in the little chat box, listen to the person on the screen before you get back into the swing of things. And sometimes that countdown can make you rush your writing. Seeing a clock can give people anxiety. And I know that back in the day when there were timed multiplication tests or timed math tests, I'd freak out. I don't like being rushed. I don't like rushing my writing. And sometimes I look at that clock, and if I'm writing and it's still in the corner of my eye, I have a hard time focusing, just thinking, oh my gosh, I only have this amount of time to hopefully get some paragraphs done. Even though that's not the point. That's not really the point. But it can be something that causes anxiety for people if seeing a clock and seeing it count down impacts your productivity. So I escaped. I don't know what this is. I'm still figuring out these bangs a little bit. But I escaped and I'm at a park. And I'm about to start some writing sprints with Megalator at iWriterly and Keelan, and hopefully get something done. I need this. The last thing I'm going to talk about, the last con, the last of the list, is word count. And this is something I might make a whole other video on, is writing sprints often will focus on the amount of words that are written during that sprint, that time frame that you set to focus your writing on. And I don't like that. I've never been one to focus on word count. I focus on, quality over quantity. I don't really focus on how many words I wrote. I like to focus on maybe a sentence that was really well written or a character that just came to life on the page. I like to focus on what the story is about over how many words I wrote. And often when it comes to the sprints, a lot of people ask, how many words did you write? And that's just a thing that they do. That's just a thing that is known when it comes to these writing sprints. I may not include it, or I may just kind of say, I got a few paragraphs done, I finished my coffee, the kitten climbed all over me. I usually just include what happened because I don't want to focus on how many words I wrote. A lot of people like to do that. They like to see how many words they wrote this month and that month and continue that on. And that's just not for me. My own personal opinion. I'd rather focus on what I'm doing to make the book come to life, how this draft is going to be more than just a first draft. It might be the first and second draft. So when I go back through it, it's not just the skeleton and the bones. It has some meat in there. I like to focus on what's in the story more than how many words I got down on the paper. You enjoyed this crazy kind of jump around video talking about live streams and writing sprints and then checking some out that I was involved in. I hope this helped you, and I might kind of follow up on the word count thing because it's just something that I have feelings about. I got feelings for it. So thank you guys very much for hanging out. If you like this kind of jumping around content, subscribe below, hit the thumbs up button. I post every Friday content similar to this. So thank you guys very much. Stay creative, and yes, parenthood is crazy. Stay creative and drink that coffee.